Hello everyone, and welcome back to Conrail's Ohio and West Virginia Division. Well, as you guys can see, this month we're taking a look at some new locomotives here, and when I originally saw these, I didn't think I needed them, and then the more I looked at pictures and the more I saw people post pictures of them, I looked at them, I was like, man, these are cool, and would make some great run-through power here for the ONWV division, so I went ahead and decided, you know what, I was very happy with my last purchase from Bowser, the Canadian Pacific GMD SD40-2s. So I figured, you know what, let's check out these CN versions. So sit back, relax, and enjoy as we take a look at the new SD40-2Ws and HO scale from Bowser. Great, everyone. So today we're going to be taking a look at the new HO Scale SD40-2Ws from Bowser. These particular locomotives are all going to be Canadian national prototypes, and a little bit of an interesting story. I did not plan on getting these, so as you guys are going to see here, we're actually going to be unboxing these three locomotives. I ordered these from two different places. Now, you guys will see here, one of them came from Lombard Hobbies. They throw in the fruit snacks because, who doesn't like snacks? And you can see they go with the packing peanut style here. And so I didn't plan on getting these, so I didn't have them pre-ordered. And these was more of a, I saw the pricing on these and I kind of couldn't pass it up because all the features, I really wanted to check them out and see what they had going on. Now, these other two I ordered from another shop, and I'm not going to mention who they are because I've had issues with them in the past, sending the wrong stuff and things, so I'm not going to mention the name of them. But there's our three units. Let's head over to the layout and take a look at them. All right, everyone, so we're over here on the layout. We have, this is number 5329 here of our SD40-2Ws. Let's go ahead and we'll unbox it here. Now, Bowser uses this like cardboard sheath deal to protect the inner box and also helps hold it together, which I'm pretty fond of. I kind of like that because they use these lift-off style boxes, and well, there we are. So that was a pretty quick time right in there. I like that. It's kind of nice to be able to get in there. Now, it appears that Bowser does things the same way they've done them for quite a while now, and they screw the locomotive direct into this plastic cradle piece, which basically means that the locomotive is not being held in by anything other than those screws. There's nothing like touching or rubbing on the body. And myself personally, I really like that. Atlas does that as well. I think somebody else does too. I think Fox Valley used to even. And I really prefer that personally, just because it's way easier just to be able to hold a model and take it out of the packaging than to play around with all the plastic stuff and all that. Now, before we take it all the way out here, let's see what we got here. See that? I think they put that in there for me because you guys have seen me manhandle enough stuff over the course of these reviews here, So, oh, look at that. We got some disassembly instructions. Look at this, guys. So we got couplers and screws on the bottom to get the shell off, and no wires attached between shell and chassis. Shell will come off freely. Okay. Anything now? So yeah, nice and big lettering there, so you can read it from a distance, or if you're like 5 beers deep, you know. That way you can still take apart your locomotive no matter what happens. So let's see what else we got here. Oh, got some lubrication instructions. Look at that. Okay, we got all your stuff on the lubrication there. So if you guys want to make sure your stuff's all good to go, there's that. And then this last one here, let's see what this one is. Oh, this is all of our functions and stuff here. Looks like some you know what you should do and important things, and you know all these different functions here. Even though I'll never go past function 12 right there, so that's all that really matters to me. But you got all this other stuff too. All right, pretty cool. And again, nothing on the back here. So for those of you keeping score, we have 3 pages here. 3 pages of manual. I'm liking that. Like, nice and simple. No like 10 pages of witty BS, just straight here it is. Now the fun part's gonna be getting this out of here. They used to like put these, I thought, in a plastic sheath deal around them. Now they're using these foam ends. I don't know how I feel about that, but I mean, it's in there pretty good. I mean, these guys here. So now the thing I like about these screws and holding it in is I can hold it down with the top of my hand here and unscrew these screws in the bottom, and the locomotive's not going to fall out anywhere. Now these screws probably will, I think, unless they finally start putting like a screw in there to hold them, or put like a nut on there to hold them, which would be nice, but I doubt that. So we'll do one of these turn deals and very carefully pull that. Okay, there we go. So we'll set that down there. And looks like we have a little mark there. I don't know if that's, oh, I can see that already. Okay. Looks like we made a little contact there. Interesting. I wonder if I could bend that back down. You guys see that sunshade's upside down. I wonder if that got moved in transport, or if that was like that from the factory. Looks like it's gonna go back all right, but anywho, guys, I'll go ahead and get the other 2 out of their boxes and see if there's anything loose or broken. I didn't hear anything rattling around earlier, so hopefully maybe Bowser will be the one this year to sell me a model that I don't have to glue back together, which would be really nice. All right, everyone, before we go into our deep dive into each locomotive and looking at the details and all the cool little bits and pieces about it, I just wanted to go ahead and take note that none of the other units had any issues, just that sunshade there on the 5329, which is bendable. You can bend it back down. Just have to be very careful. But before we dive into looking at each individual unit here, one of the things I really liked that Bowser did with these runs here is that they kind of did like a little different variation of everything up here on the top. And before we go into them all, I just wanted to show this here, because on our 5329, you have your just standard exhaust stack, whereas with the 5357, we have a silenced exhaust. 5339 has a standard exhaust stack, and it's just kind of cool to see dynamic brakes versus no dynamic brakes. You have your winterization hatches back here in the back, and then you even have your different style fans there, the later phase ones as well. So just quick note before we start taking a look at these each individually. All right, everyone, let's go ahead and let's start off with our unit number 5329 here. And I want to go ahead and kind of put a little bit of a disclaimer in here. I am not a CN modeler in the slightest, so I'm just going to be kind of looking at these and checking all the details on them. I'm not going to reference prototype photos or any of that like I've done in some other videos, because honestly, guys, I don't know enough about these to really nitpick and do all that. These are just kind of something I thought was really cool, and are going to make some great run-through power on the layout, hopefully. So let's go ahead and we'll start off here with the front of our model here. And as usual, we have some, MU hoses. These types seem to be plastic, but the detail on them is nice and fine. Got some kind of plow here. I don't know if that's prototypical, but it looks kind of goofy, like some kind of Canadian thing. So I'd say that probably is the shape of it there. We have us some kind of KD coupler. It is metal. Might actually be a KD, or it might be some kind of Bowser wannabe a KD. I don't know. But either way, it's metal. It looks pretty good. As you can see, the trip pin is non-existent, which I like because I don't have to cut that off later. We have a coupler cut bar here. Pretty nicely done. Looks to be plastic. Seems pretty good. Now we get up here to this anti-climber area here, and you see we got a little MU receptacle. And then you could see our ditch lights here. These are the Canadian style ditch lights. Kind of like a bowl almost, mounted to a little post. And they actually have, as you guys can tell, the LEDs are mounted directly in them. So that should look pretty nice when we get over to check out the lighting later. You can see there's a little wire running down out of the back of them there. Hopefully that'll show up there if I get that zoomed in far enough. But that overall doesn't look too bad. I would rather see a little wire coming out of the back like that and have the things be correctly sized and all that than have them be all giant and oversized just for the sake of hiding the wiring. So that's pretty nice. Now we get up here to our cab and nose section. Real quick, I'll note our handrails here. These seem to be plastique. The plastic stuff, pretty good. I don't think they'll break too easily. They don't seem too fragile, but they seem nicely done. Now we get up here to our nose area, and this is pretty nice looking here. Has some good detail, good fine lines on everything. The door handle here does look a little bit wonky. Would have been cool to see that be like a separate piece, but I'm sure that would drive the cost to the moon. But otherwise, this whole nose looks nice. You got your little metal grab irons there. It look good. There's some little decals on there and stuff too. Sand filler hatch up here. And some more grab irons up here. They have kind of an odd shape to them, but they look good. I can also see our wiper blades and our cab. Our cab does have a full cab interior from what I could see here. That looks pretty good. I got our nose mounted bell. Our number boards, which are lit according to the literature there, and our triple class light deal up here, which is pretty cool. Now there's also some piping up here on the roof. We got a little couple antennas and stuff too. That piping goes back to the horn, which we'll take a look at once we get to take a look at the top of this unit here. So as we kind of move along here, we do have our steps here, do have see-through tread, if I can get that to show up. And it does have the more square style Canadian step wells there. That's a Canadian thing that the Canadians did. I don't know why, but it's pretty neat that Bowser has that on there. If you also look here as well, you could see this little LED in here. That's for the step lights, so that's pretty cool. Looks like we got some kind of little GE label on there. I'm not sure what that's all about. Maybe this was like rebuilt by GE or something, this particular unit. I don't know, but maybe I'll zoom in on that. It looks pretty nice and crisp there. I'm sure if you really wanted to magnify it, you could probably almost read it. It's pretty nicely done there. Taking a look at some of our truck and underbody detailing here, you can see we have our traction motor cables. Our trucks look pretty nice. Nothing really too fancy, but they have just the right amount of detail, I think, that they pop. You got some sanding lines and stuff, but they aren't like in the way of everything, so that looks good. Got your old poop chute right there. I think that's where the poop comes out of the toilet up there in the front, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know how cool that is that that's there, but it's there, so that's pretty neat. And of course, as we come along here, we come down here to the side now. The striping on these looks really nice, really sharp. It's not too... It just looks really good. I'm pretty happy with that. These will weather up really nice. Got our fuel tank with a little bit of fuel tank detail. Nothing too crazy there. As we come down here to the rear of our unit, of course, we could see we have the chicken wire kind of grills there. And there's also a little spot here for another walkway light. These have walkway lights too as well, so kind of neat to see those start to be a more standard thing from the manufacturers here. And of course, as we get to the rear here, we have other assorted details. Got some kind of knuckle basket maybe and knuckle holders, I assume. I'm not totally sure there, guys. You can put down below what those are. Of course, some more MU cables or KD, not KD coupler. I think it's a Bowser coupler. Either way, metal coupler. Got a drop step here that's dropping the wrong way. And I don't know if it'll drop all the way down. We'll find out. If it doesn't, I'll break it off. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, so it's got a little bit of a snapping action when you put it flat there, so you might want to tread carefully with that should you buy one of these. It does go down. It's just a little kind of scary a little bit there. Anyway, we got the old metal grab irons here in the back, our single rear headlight. I always thought that was kind of odd that the Canadian railroads did that. It's kind of like it almost makes me think of like some kind of like cyborg or something. I don't know why, but we have our old brake wheel here. Looks pretty good on the brake wheel stand. Go ahead and shift things around here a little bit. Now, you want to talk about some underbody detailing. Check out these chains here. That's pretty freaking cool. I'm digging that. I like that chain detail there. That's pretty neat. Kind of neat how you have the detail coming down here as well. But otherwise, more of the same here on the engineer's side. Again, we got some little thingy there. I think that's some kind of like an air filter deal. And it looks like you got some kind of walkway light there. Yep, we do. Or, excuse me, ground lights mounted right up underneath there. There's an LED in that too, because Bowser really went hog wild with all the lighting on these. So I'm really looking forward to checking that out there later. And of course, the things I forgot when we first looked at our cab here, we do have cab wind deflectors and sunshades. As I did mention, one of the sunshade was bent up on one of mine, and I did manage to bend it back down pretty easily. Now we take a brief look at our top here. Just kind of check out some of the stuff up here. You have all your little lift rings and all that fun stuff. You got your little grab iron back in the back, and then all of our fans appear to have nice detail inside of them. They do look great. You get up here, here's our horn with our piping coming back from the front, but overall, I mean, I'm very impressed with what this locomotive looks like. So let me go ahead and we'll kind of touch on the other ones real quick here and just kind of talk about some of the differences with them and do a brief look at them here. All right, so next up here we have the 5357. And I know some of you first looking at it, you're going, Steve, that's the same as the last one. No, it's not. The first major difference here with this unit is that it does have this like stripe up here on the front plow. I think that's pretty neat looking. Just, that's one of the things I kind of mentioned earlier about these units is they all kind of have a little bit different detail to them. And it's really neat to see that all here being modeled. Now, these also have these snow shields here right behind the cab here right behind the cab doors. So that's pretty cool that those are there. This particular unit also does not have dynamic brakes and has a silenced exhaust, which is also pretty neat to see. As we come back here to the rear, we'll also note on this unit that we have the later style radiator fans and also have a winterization hatch up here as well. But overall, guys, this one's part of the reason I picked this unit up specifically was because it's different and it's very subtly different. But these non-dynamic brake units are just kind of neat. Not to mention having the silenced exhaust is going to be kind of cool to run at a consist. So this is the 5357. Again, not much different from the 5329, but there's, a few minor differences. So it's kind of neat to see that stuff here. So we'll move on to our 5339 next. All right, so now we're here with our 5339. And again, the subtle differences and subtle changes. This unit has a different paint scheme than the other two, which is kind of the start of the main things. Now, with this unit in particular, one of the little things I noticed was this E-bell up here instead of the old school bell mounted up there on the front. Also, this one does have snow shields and dynamic brakes, but as you can see, it has the CN Americas logo with the CN.ca on it. Now, for full disclosure, when I ordered this, I just wanted the map scheme. I didn't know it had this here .com deal on it, so a little bit of a goof up by me, but I believe I can re-decal this to be just the map scheme and fit better into the 90s like what I'm shooting for. But this unit also, as you can see, has the CN logo applied much lower on the rear, so that's kind of neat to see. And again, all of our cool brake chain detail stuff looks really good. And again, another shot here at the top of this. I can't stop looking at how the top of these look. The detail on them is really, really sharp. So overall, just another slightly different version. But again, it's the slight differences that get guys like me to end up buying more of them than I should, because it's kind of neat to see them all. So let's go ahead and we're going to check out the weight on these next, and then we'll take a look at wheel gauge thereafter and coupler height. All right, well, let's go ahead and let's check out our weight on these units and see what we're sitting at here. So we'll start off with our 5329 here. And that's coming in at a 16.93 ounces, so pretty decent. I mean, they have some good heft to them. I do feel like they'll pull well. We'll do our 5357 here. 16.54 ounces, okay. And we'll finish this off here with our 5339 here. And it's 16.54 ounces. So all in all, they're pretty close. A little bit of variation, but they're pretty close. So let's go ahead and let's check out wheel gauge. All right, so we got our 5329 here, and provided I can keep this in the frame of the camera here, we're going to check out our wheel gauge, which for starters here's looking all right, looking good. And okay, we're good there too. Yeah. Yep. It's always a challenge trying to do this and film it, because it seems like sometimes you try and get these gauges on here and they don't want to sit right because you have them a little bit angled or something, and you're trying to watch yourself on, in my case, on my phone, which I record these videos with. And it can be a bit of a challenge at times to try and do this like this. So hopefully you guys will be able to see all right. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. Come on. There we go. Again, that looks good. That looks good. And that looks good as well. And last but not least, our 5339 here. Also looking good. Now, I know some of you are probably wondering, Steve, why are you bothering to show us you checking wheel gauge? And, well, that's because I generally buy multiple things like this. And the way I look at it is, guys, if I buy 3 of them from this run, that's, 3 chances for there to be something wrong. So if one of them has a problem, we could all kind of say, well, okay, we got to watch a little bit, we got to check a little bit closer. But if the 3 I got at random are fine, everything should be fine. So that's kind of why I do that. But let's head over and let's check out these units. We'll check out the coupler height next. All right, everyone. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little asterisk in here, because I know on the camera, especially from editing these videos, that sometimes it's going to look like something's not lining up well. I just, especially if you're watching it on TV and it's really blown up. So if I say it looks good, but on the screen it's looking a little bit off, it's just because of how I film these, and how far away my camera is from where the track is, and I have to zoom in and stuff. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start off with our front coupler here, and that one is right on the money there. So that does look on the money there on my camera as well. Let's go ahead and check out our rear here. Let's see what we get. And our rear is also right on the money, so that's a good start for things there. I'm liking that. Liking that. Let's go ahead and move on to our 5357 here. And again, we're right where we want to be. Go ahead and turn her around here and try and get this thing back on here kind of carefully. I don't want to knock that brake chain off. And again, we're right dead where we want to be on the rear, so that's good to see. Good to see. And let's go ahead and bring our 5339 up here. And again, we're right where we want to be. So let's go ahead and check out the rear coupler here, provided I get that on the track right. Yeah. And our rear coupler's good. And yeah, because you know what, now I'm watching this here, I'm looking at the camera again. If you guys are looking at my coupler doodad deal here, it almost looks like this knuckle is bending down a little bit. It's just the way the camera is. I gotta apologize for that. But anywho, guys, let's go ahead and check out some of the lighting functions on these, because I think it's gonna be pretty cool. Let's check it out. All right, everyone. So I have the camera set up here now, so that way you guys can take a more direct look here and kind of get an idea of what our lighting looks like, at least here on the front end. So I'll go ahead and put track power down here, and I'm going to start off with F0 to turn on our headlight here. There you guys see it, and it does look pretty good. It seems like the top light is a little bit dimmer. It's not showing up very well on the camera, but it does look slightly dimmer in person, but overall it does look pretty good. I'm not going to complain about that too much. We'll go ahead and we'll hit F6 here and turn on our ditch lights. There you guys can see those. So those are nice and bright, very well lit. Those look great. And they do balance out nicely with the headlight. They're maybe a touch brighter, but not very much. But overall, they do look pretty good. And F5 here is going to cycle through our class lights here. So when we first turn on there, you guys can see the white ones, and those look really nice. There's the green, of course. Again, very nice and bright. It's not looking green on the camera, but it is green, very green. And then, of course, our red, which again look very good. Now, for the remainder of the lighting, I have to start up the prime mover on this, so we're going to kind of end up moving into the sounds part of things here, but let me go ahead and fire this up so that way we can kind of see some of the rest of the lighting here. Now, this particular unit is the 5357, which features the silenced style exhaust. Now, you guys can see those number boards. They do light up rather nice. It's just my very bright lighting here in the layout makes it difficult to see. You'll also note the step lights down here and walkway lights as well. And I'll go ahead and add in photos from the walkway lights on the side here as well, just so you guys can see that too. Now I went ahead and I brought the 5339 over so we could take a quick look at the rear light on these here as well with F0. There you guys can see, again, it pretty much matches the front light. It has a good brightness to it. It's not too much, but it is there and it is working. So let's go ahead and let's start up this unit here so we can kind of get a look at some of our ground lighting and step lighting at the rear here. Alright guys, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to rearrange things here a little bit, and we'll take a look at the plethora of different sounds we get here, or at least the base plethora of things. Alright everyone, so we're going to go ahead and start off here with our 5357, and we're going to start off with F1 running our bell here. That sounds pretty good. We have F2 does our horn. all of you guys at home that actually know what horn's supposed to be on here and what it's supposed to sound like will have to put down there in the comments if that's the right horn or not. It sounds like a horn to me. It sounds all right. I can't complain. We're going to find out what F3 does right now. Oh, the classic coupler that I'll program to something else later. F4 should be dynamic brake, but this doesn't have dynamic brake. And you guys know 5 and 6 are class lights and ditch lights already. Not sure what's on F7. We're not going to worry about that. But we'll go ahead and we're going to fire it up here, and we'll kind of set our full throttle features, what it used to be called here, and go ahead and notch this unit out here and see how it sounds. So that was notching the unit all the way out here, and I'm not sure if I mentioned it earlier or not, but these actually do have a keep alive capacitor deal in them, so we'll go ahead and pick this up and we'll see how long she goes for here. So it's pretty good. It held on there for a good while. That's kind of nice. So that's one of the things I'm really glad Bowser started putting in all these was the keep alives, because it's really nice to be able to have that feature direct from the factory in a locomotive. Not sure how it's going to come across in the video. It'll probably sound stupid loud in the video. These are pretty loud. The sound on them does sound pretty good. It's got a little bit too much high end for my taste. Maybe I'm just getting old now or something. I don't know, but it's a little bit too much on the high end. Could probably adjust that down a little bit with the CVs or go with a different speaker if you really wanted to. We'll check out and see what speakers are in these when we get over to the workbench later. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with how that sounds there. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring in our 5329 here. And this unit does not have the silenced exhaust, so we're going to go ahead and kind of run through the same deal here and see if anything's different. Bell sounds pretty much the same there. Let's see what our horn does. That's the same horn, so let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and start her up, and again we'll notch this unit out here just for the heck of it and see what it sounds like notched up as well. So same as the 5357 here, we'll go ahead and we'll do our pickup test here and see how long this one goes for. All right, pretty good, pretty good. I don't know if you might be able to adjust that longer in the load programmer. I'm not quite sure. But either way, I mean, that's long enough for as bad as my track is. That should work well for me, so I'm pretty happy with that. So this is the part, guys, where I'm going to shoot some run-bys of these, pulling a train, get some kind of scenic shots and some cool stuff, and probably film a short with them too. And then I'll take one of them over to the workbench, and we'll go ahead and we'll take the shell off and see what the insides look like, kind of pull it apart and see what's going on, and I'll give you guys my closing thoughts on these. All right, everyone, so we're over here at the workbench now. We're going to go ahead and take our shell off our Bowser SD40-2W here. And to do this, there is the couplers we have to remove, and then it's kind of hard to get it to show up here, but there's also screws under the cab as well we have to pull out to get the shell off, and then it should just lift right off. So we'll go ahead and we'll start off with our first coupler box here. We'll just unscrew this guy, and we'll take those out first, then we'll see how these cab ones come out. Overall, I kind of like this design idea here, where you don't have to take too much apart to get things apart. Kind of nice to see that with manufacturers, where they're not putting way too many screws. It kind of drives me nuts when some of these guys get a little carried away with hiding screws in places and things where they're kind of difficult to get out. I like everything to be easily accessible. That way I don't have to worry about breaking off details trying to get screws out. So liking the thought here behind the design. We're going to see how it actually works in practicality here. Now, this screw is in a bit of a not great spot here next to the truck. And it's not really threaded in that much, so that's a good start. See if I can get that guy to pop out of there. And it's not going to want to pop out, so we'll just leave that there. And if it falls out, we can always put it back later. But I do kind of like how those are kind of hidden there in detail like that, so I believe those are both loose. Let's go ahead and lift our shell off here. Yep, so nice and easy, just comes right up and off. And we'll set that off to the side here for a minute and just start off with our chassis and underframe. And overall, looks pretty usual stuff here. We got a metal base, which I like, and then we have a metal frame weight here as well. And as you guys can tell, we got little LEDs mounted in different places for your walkway lights and all that. Looks like our headlight is mounted right up here in the front, so that could be a little bit of why those headlights have a little bit of a different hue to them when you look at them from an angle. Might be this front one's being mounted back just a touch farther. That could be where that's coming from. And it looks like everything else for the most part's on like the contact pad deals like other manufacturers have been using quite a bit lately. So the LEDs are mounted in the shell, so that's kind of nice to see. You have your little board here, and if you guys kind of look at this almost looks like a decoder buddy would screw right in there is what it looks like it's designed to do. So that's a plus too as well. If you wanted to go the decoder buddy route, it doesn't look like it would be too wild to do that here at the frame. I don't really see why you would though, just because all the lighting is satisfactory. And if we look underneath here, we could see our little Bowser Keep Alive board here underneath our speaker. That's looks all right. Probably would have been a little bit better if they could have figured out a way to squeeze that up here in the front and gotten a little bigger speaker enclosure, but that's just me nitpicking, guys. Really, it's fine as it is. But overall, our motor and drive looks pretty good. Motor looks nice. Looks like our drive shafts are just kind of your standard deal. Same with the motor. It looks like kind of a standard issue motor. Nothing too crazy there. Now, when we get into our underframe here, this is where all the magic happens. And as we can see, we have all these little LED wires are ran everywhere, as well there's a bunch up here in the front too. So, okay, that kind of explains things a little bit. So that's how they're running everything. They have all these little magnet wires ran everywhere. Looks like it's well done. My only concern would be if one of those LEDs burnt out, you'd really have a bit of a time trying to rerun all this wiring. So that could be a bit of a hassle there. It almost looks like too up inside here, like there's a way you could light up your control stand almost too. I wonder if you could fish an LED up in there. I'd have to take a look inside the cab here to really be able to tell. See if I can get some light in there. Nah, it doesn't look like it. But either way, it looks like it's hollowed out already. So if you wanted to take this cab off and do that, you probably could, which is pretty cool, I must say. It's pretty neat. Now we come back here to the rear again. We have more of our little magnet wires run down for our step lights, and then of course our rear light up there in the top. And really not too bad. I mean, I will say the magnet wires make me a little bit nervous just because I don't like dealing with those magnet wires. But overall, it looks pretty good. And right there, you can't really see it very well, but inside that little square is actually an LED for our walkway light as well. So overall, guys, I mean, this looks pretty good here. Now I'm looking at this control stand where that's actually just the control stand molded in there, because it looks like they molded in the seats as well right into the bottom of that, which that's not bad. I mean, you guys can't really, you can never really see inside a cab very well in the first place. There's never really a good way to get light in there to really tell. So that's going to about wrap it up for these guys. I'm going to go ahead and put this shell back on here, and will film that for y'all, and you kind of watch me do that. And if I struggle or anything, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to record a voiceover with my closing thoughts and remarks on these and what I thought of them overall. So stay tuned. All right, everyone. So while you guys watch this here, watch me put this together, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys my final thoughts. Overall, I think Bowser really hit the ball out of the park on these. I didn't plan on picking them up in the slightest. This was kind of I just saw a lot of pictures of these, and the more pictures I saw, the more I was like, man, those look really nice. And I've had a lot of luck with Bowser. They've always kind of put out good products that are quality, that are fairly priced, and nothing's ever, too expensive. And the detail's always very, very well done on them. In the past, I've had some kind of, mixed feelings about some of the lighting stuff that could have been better, but I think these really, really came out nice. They really, really did a nice job on these. And just overall, I was really impressed. And I'm very, very glad about that because some of you might have seen the review I did last month on a locomotive from another manufacturer that really, really disappointed me. And they may or may not be in the background of this video because a month after I have them, I still have them on the workbench and I'm still working on them. So to get a model like this from Bowser where I just literally these are going to be as simple as weathering them. I'm not going to have to do any work to these. They already have a keep alive. They already have all of the lighting features I could possibly want. And they already are detailed very nicely. And this is kind of a big win to me. These really, really, just really impressed me. And kind of the telltale with that is, after I do all the filming of the, unboxing and all that stuff, and you guys see all that stuff, before I take them over and tear them down like what we're doing here, I always like to run the locomotives for like 20 minutes, half hour or so, and get all my shots for the all my run bys and everything, as well as normally I'll film a short or two just to post up as well, because YouTube likes when you do shorts. But I actually found myself, I was actually running these for a little bit over an hour because I really enjoyed watching them go around. You can see the thumbs up there. That's how I really felt about them. So, yeah, I kind of got lost running them. It kind of just gave me that feeling of a good model, and anytime you just set up a train and run it, it's always nice to do that and just to be able to enjoy something. So, you guys can kind of see the deal going by on the screen right now, showing all the different variations. That's right off the Bowser website. Again, guys, if you were thinking about picking these up, I highly, highly recommend it. They are just a really, really nice model, and I was very, very happy with them. I'm sure you will too. Any of you guys that picked them up, put down in the comments what you thought, if you liked them or if there was something you didn't like. And then, as I mentioned earlier, I'm not a CN expert, so if there was prototypical things that were off or something, go ahead and put it down there. But once again, Bowser really, really knocked it out of the park with these. I'm very, very happy with them. So they keep their track record up as far as I'm concerned. So as always, guys, I want to thank you all for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing. And again, these review videos are always fun to do, and I always enjoy doing them. So we're going to keep doing them for as long as I keep finding stuff I like. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.